Yo, this is Aiden or Calvin here, commentating over some absolutely garbage Smash 4 gameplay, and I'd like to talk about the mistakes MLG made last year and the potential of another MLG happening in 2015. So the return to MLG last year wasn't as graceful as we thought it would be, for a wide variety of reasons. Tournament attendance didn't quite hit what we expected it to be. There was a lot of predictions of 500 to 600 entrants, but I think only roughly 350 people ended up competing. So by no means is that a small event, but the event failed to live up to the hype in that aspect, I think, especially with the severe lack of East Coast players, which was super evident in the crew battle on that first night of MLG. Honestly, the lower than expected attendance probably was the least of everyone's problems, though. The bracket ended up running like 6 hours late day one, with many people unable to leave to get food or do whatever in fear of being DQ'd because they didn't really know when their match was going to start. There was an apparent system crash that caused the holdup due to MLG using its own custom bracket system, and then the whole bracket got deleted or something. This upset many people for obvious reasons due to no one being able to play until the bracket finally getting started at around like 7 p.m., I think. And friendlies were few and far between the whole day because the LAN pit that all the TVs and setups were in was closed off to anybody that wasn't playing tournament matches right at that moment. There were a lot of disagreements between refs and MLG staff with Smashers. Most of the MLG staff operating the event were not familiar in the way Smashers usually run, and none of them were actually Smashers besides Solid Jake, who could really only do so much. He was really running around everywhere, and I know Solid Jake was doing his best to make that event run well at the time, and unfortunately didn't quite work out that way. All of this doesn't really even grace the issue of like the whole stream ads and main stage audio issues. Sitting in the audience at the main stage, you can never hear the commentary very well. It was very quiet the whole time. I know the stream heard it fine, but from the audience, it was very low, which was a little sad because StarCraft and COD obviously got that attention, and their commentators could be easily heard by the whole audience. The stream ads were super frequent, as I heard, and overplayed, often the same ad over and over again, and they were often interrupting the gameplay. And we could talk about the mistakes MLG made all day. We really could, and people could share their stories. I'm sure there's other problems I'm missing, but there were a lot of good things that did and could have come out of MLG, in my opinion, and there's reason to push for it to come back this year. And I don't know if it'll happen, the way the event turned out. I'm sure a lot of Smashers will be turned off by the idea and the people that run MLG as well. But in my opinion, MLG last year was more important than EVO in its own way. And I know a lot of people might disagree with that or not realize why I might think that, but it's because EVO is full of fighting games and a community that already knows we exist, whether they like us or not. And the people and the games at MLG don't know what competitive Smash is. It was an opportunity to break out into the esports mainstream, and in a lot of ways, I think we kind of blew it. If we had gotten 1,000 people out to that event, that crowd had been huge. If we had an Apex size event at MLG, it could have been so good. There were, with only the 200 to 300 people that were in the crowd at the most hype moments of that tournament, they were making so much noise with so few people. Like, we were overreaching the COD crowd and the StarCraft crowd sometimes, even though they were like 2 to 3 times as big. And that passion was witnessed by these other more mainstream esports communities, and there was a lot of turning heads. There was a lot of discussion in the other crowds. I was there to watch Smash and Call of Duty. I don't play Call of Duty, but I am a a fan of the competitive scene. And it was nice to see the discussion of all these non-Smash players talking about how cool Smash was and how they liked watching it. There was a lot of people that would go over and watch Smash on breaks, or if hell, like some people were even looking over mid-match to watch the people playing on the Smash main stage. So we got a lot of recognition that day, and it could have been even more so, and it could have been an opportunity to grow even more. That event was probably some of the highest production value we've seen for a Smash event, at least up until that time. And I'd really like to see the return of something like that this year, with us working with MLG to fix some of those problems. We have to stop thinking of EVO as our main event. And it's fantastic, and I really hope I can go this year, and it's huge, and EVO's this epic thing, and it gives us some validation with the rest of the fighting game community, but the fighting game community is niche in terms of esports, and they're not the community we should be looking to get the attention or the approval of. We should be reaching out to the greater esports community as a whole, in my opinion, and by having Smash at events like MLG, it's really good exposure for this community, whether it be Melee or Smash 4 or whatever. So I know a lot of people might not be on board with what I'm saying, or might not believe that we'll even get Smash back at MLG this year, even if we wanted it. And they could be completely right, and I agree with the fact that it's pretty unlikely that we'll see Smash at a huge MLG event this year. But I believe if we were willing to push for it as a community, we could get it back, and we could prove to MLG, and MLG in turn could prove to us that we could have a proper Smash event, a huge one, at an MLG, because this is just so important and could be so it could be potentially huge for the community as a whole. And maybe some of you aren't looking for validation among other esports, and maybe we just want to be smashers, and that's okay too. I mean, this is a community effort, regardless of what we want as a whole. And if people don't want something like this, by no means should people be obligated to go bother, Sundance and Adam on Twitter to get Smash back at MLG. But like I said, I think it's something worth pushing for, and if enough of our community leaders got behind it and were willing to make sure that having Smash at MLG this year would be a success, and I think it's an amazing opportunity and a great event to have Smash at. But we'll see, and I'd like to see what some of you guys think. So, give this video a like, comment, do all that stuff. Tell me why you disagree, agree. I'm sure there's varied opinions about this, and to be honest, I'd be surprised if I convinced many people with this video. Just keep in mind, MLG had a lot of flaws last year. I'm by no means denying that at all. It definitely was rough around the edges, and but if we brought it back, we could definitely improve it. Smashers could help run the event, and we can make it something good that our community loves. And if Smash keeps growing like it is, I see no reason why, if we could make something successful at MLG this year, why it couldn't be reoccurring. And MLG could be a big event for Smash. As Apex, in my opinion, continues to fail the community in a lot of ways, we need more big events to step up to that plate. And, everyone deserves a second chance, and Apex has gotten, a lot of those, it seems. But MLG hasn't gotten its second chance yet. From what I understand, back in the old days, it was run pretty well, and then we brought it back, and it failed. And I'd like to see MLG have another opportunity to host a competitive Smash event and see if they can turn it around. And maybe we'll have a potentially huge tournament series at an absolutely enormous event. So tell me what you guys think. Everybody have a great day, and hopefully I'll have another video up soon. Cheers.